Hey! Ho, it's me, Panacaro, and welcome back to Streamer Row. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ho, 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 ho. Ho. FicsIt-Networks, welcome to the stream. How do you do today? Don't talk. Talk? You mean call? I don't call. I cannot pronounce the word correctly. I guess. Anyway, how do you do today? So let's just switch over to the good old chat and scream. Scream. Sure, screen. The strange things to hear when you pop into Pana's stream. Parisius, I mean, what else did you expect? I mean, if you come to the stream, you have to expect something like that. And welcome, by the way. And I didn't write it correctly anyways. Okay, I guess. Give me a second, I'm gonna switch the stupid musical. Balabim, balaboom, balabim, balapow. Okay, oh Jesus Christ. And I'm questioning what I should do since, one, I can try to get a connection for my VMs on a Linux. That's a pain. Can program a small C# project of mine. A pain, since I need to change some stuff internally. Do some MC mod fixing. Can work on the DB structure for the DB bot. Why DB bot? I mean, for now, as said, I would recommend you to make the DB and then the DB library. And then, based on the library, you work on the mod. So that your DB thing is not, like, bot related at all. But your bot is related to the DB, but the DB is not related to the bot. So I would not say DB bot is the thing you want. What you want is the DB. The DB, you know what I mean. By the way, guys, I got some warm cup of tea. Yes, yes. As well as some sparkling water and some spezi and some snackaroos. Well, DB bot, since I didn't write it fully, and it's just temporary name anyways. So, then I would say you should do the 4 thing. I mean, to me that sounds like the thing that that is the most fun. To me, at least. I mean. Well, we'll probably change next stream again. What do you mean you will change? Next stream. I don't quite get it. So the name, since I came up with them on the spot. Okay, bots. I mean, I got Discord to work with this game. Even treats all the stuff like it was a bot. Huh? I mean, but yeah, FicsIt-Networks is talking about a Discord bot, but that Discord bot is like anime related, so it's a bit meh. So guys, what do you guys want to do? Because I don't know what to do. Like, we could work on FicsIt-Networks. We could try to do some documentation stuff, though. We could also try to do some FicsIt Visual Script things, or we do something else. Yeah. Or we could do something else. We could try to do some 3D modeling, but we could also try to do something else. Like, we could also try to, well, work on a game idea or something. Or help Drachwa X making his bot. Now I also called it bot. God damn it, Drachwa X. Or we could help Drachwa X doing his anime DB thingy majaki doogie degaki gugulgaki geek. And I thought I told you to write my approach into my DMs. So why am I missing a DM? I don't know. I don't know. So, okay. Why did I just type in Drachwa X into the Windows search? The fuck? I wanted to start up Rider. Ah! Directly switched over. Wow. Oh boys and girls. Am I that much of an influence on you? Apparently. Well, at least in regards of mangas and stuff I'm reading. In that regards, yes you are. Okay. So, and well, for the name, you can always suggest better names. There is probably already a AniDB or something. There is also AniList, a My Anime List. There is also Aniverse. Ani Tracker. How about that? Because I did some changes. on the docks. I mean, that works. Nice. Now I need to remember that, not forget it. Write it onto a whiteboard or something. I have to check something pretty quickly. Something is not quite right here. That's not where this is supposed to be. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. So now we have all the changes in our FicsIt Visual Script branch. I hope, at least. Can I say, like, reevaluate that shit here? Nope. I have to... I mean, maybe I can do it within there, but for now... Satisfactory mod loader, right click. Changes to the project files. Sure. Already almost forgot the name. It's now in a file saved. Nice. Bless ya. Thanks. Dude, bless ya. Thanks, Parisius. Made me jump in my chair. The usual. Okay, can I now reload? Oh, wait. I'm not on the correct branch yet. Okay, now I'm at the correct branch. So let me push those changes first. Do we? No, we still don't have it. Alright, okay, so now I have the correct changes. Now I generate the Visual Studio project files. And then I'm gonna reload. Guess we're gonna have to reload. Still not in here. Huh? Why are the dummy headers? Oh wait, hold on. That's from mod loader. No, we have the photo FicsIt original script. Why is it not in here? Oh, now it's in here. God, do I hate ping calls. Like, since the I got 10 such pings. Ooh. Yeah, I hate those too. We had, like, I think summer last year, a wave of ping calls. Nowadays it's just scam calls. Or let's say lately it's just spam calls. On one day, 3 such pings, and the one was even when I was in the train. So damn annoying. I can imagine. Wait, well, I don't got any scam calls or ping calls on my mobile phone. I only got them on stationary. And yes, we still have a stationary telephone. So this is definitely a U5's script node. This is a U5's node array. And that's already pretty clear. And to check out the signal event. So this is U5's node event, which is a special event, and that gets stuff from the script node. Okay. So I'm just gonna copy that stuff. Because quite some stuff is similar. So we have an execute out. We also want to execute in. So we're gonna have to add that. What's the matter? Ah. There you go. So now we got an exec out. Now we got an exec in. Then we need an array in, essentially. So that's the array in. Let's call it array ref in. We don't have such a thing, but we have a U5 spin array item. In or out, that will depend on how we go. And I need one more pin, which is the array index. in. Okay. So now we have to have enum. Fifths node array type, and this is now fifths node array, and now we have like at, then we have fifths node array set, then we got a fifths node array insert, a fifths node array append, fifths node array pop, fifths node array peak. Was it peak or peak? I think it was peak. Node array remove, obviously. And I think that's about it, what we need. What should the table be called? That's gonna contain the animes, mangas, and novels. Might be split in the end. Probably gonna do a second version where it splits to see which one might be better. Don't split it. I really recommend you to not split it because it's rather because they are similar to each other. So like like what information it coins is pretty much the same. So it's better for you to combine that in one list because it probably in the end allows you to. I think that's also a little bit better. So I would just recommend you to give it, or actually. Actually, hold on. You may be right with splitting it. Give me a second, I have to think about it. The problem is we have common data. We have common data for those, and we have uncommon data for those. Common data is relations to others, a rating, etc., etc. Yeah, I know, but the structure might end up in some way where it's better. But let's make both versions and let's see what's better later. Okay, so, well, for now I would say, because that's definitely a lot easier to do, is for now make your system to use one library, to use one table, and I would just call it anime, even though it contains mangas and novels and whatnot. Just call it anime. Important when you make databases, that's at least what I have learned in my apprenticeship. This is anime, so singular, okay? Anime. That's a singular word, okay? And that's how the table is called, even though it contains multiple animes. I don't want enemies. But no, it's animes. So it contains multiple animes, but the table is called anime, singular. Yeah, no, but yeah. So, and in there I would try, recommend you to put in an ID, a UN64, a snowflake ID. What I do is, if I have to identify things and I have to use an ID where I don't want to use a string-based ID because that could fuck up stuff, I just always go with a UN64, because with that I can use snowflake IDs and that would be perfect. So I would recommend you to just simply then also say each anime has an ID, which is then a snowflake ID. And yeah, and then you put in your and then you put in your title, release date, blah 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 blah. What do you want? I mean, later on I would not say you put in author and stuff into that table. Later on I would use other tables for that. But for now you could say, go in and say it contains a string field author, and that's about it. You can later on change it, but like for now, let's try to make a simple thing and then extend out of there. So I would recommend to have a anime table containing uint64 as ID, then a string, a text or varchar. I don't know how long that varchar should be, for the title of the anime. Then you also have and then a release date and whatnot. And that's the first table containing animes and shit. But I'm anyways in a planning website to construct and see them how they are going to end up and not think about code for now, only pure structure for now. You will change the structure anyway later on. I think you're right that splitting it up would be better, especially because like if I think about it, like now, okay, wait, that's then like data related to that. Well, okay, maybe you want to, because like that's something I don't see in many DBs, that you can follow up how many released chapters there are, for example, in novels and stuff. And then like that's because then like you have like then you have a novel count and a chapter count or whatever. So like also, which is also rather weird. So like in most listing sites, you have like there is one entry for each manga or novel. But like in regards of anime, there you have one entry per season. Do you want to follow that or not? So what you could do is you could say, okay, you also have one entry per season. You could do the same, but you could also, on the other hand, say, okay, you have again one entry per season, and then you have for the novels and mangas the same. Then you have one entry per volume essentially. But then you have like web novels or whatever, which don't really have volumes. So for those you don't have then one entry for each volume. There you then just simply have one value, just one entry. Like actually, you know what my dream structure would be? I think it is the most complex database structure, I think, in the end. But I think that I would prefer this. It makes stuff more difficult, obviously, but yeah, it makes stuff probably a little bit more difficult, but I don't care. So like what I would do is I would create a table called multi-adaptation or whatever, and a multi-adaptation is then is like for one show. So, or no, not even. I would not even say no, not multi-adaptation. That's also a bit tricky, especially in regards of side stories and whatnot. Yeah, it's a bit hard to think about something. How I would approach different things. Because like, what do you have to know about? What I might do is if they retain the same name, then they will just continue counting up. But if they change the name, I will probably ignore it, but might add some kind of support for it. Okay, hold on. I will try to do something. No. Give me a second. School stuff. Loving it. Why can't I change the notebook? Okay, I guess I'm gonna go into Critter then. There is a cheat sheet to FicsIt-Networks? No. I haven't at least made none, and I'm not aware of any cheat sheet. It's very likely that if there would be a cheat sheet that someone has posted it on the server, on the Discord server, which is not the case, so... Oh no, how to get Pan involved in your project even on stream. Do a project that's interesting at the same time and ask some difficult stuff. Yeah. Nobody said that wouldn't happen. So like what I think is like that you have a multi-adaptation, okay? Oh god, hold on. That's not... What was undo? That's also not it. Okay, I guess all my settings are broken nowadays. They have completely broken. I have to use the keyboard. So, like, what I could imagine is like you have like one table show or whatever containing so you have like one show, and that's like the Uber thing. Like if you have like a very big series, for example, I haven't watched it, I just know that it is a very complex and weird thing, like the Fate series, okay? Like you have then a show Fate, and then you have all the different branches you could go off on. So, and then you have like, and then you say, okay, you have one entry for one of these giant, complex franchises. Okay, yeah, right. Maybe not show. Instead, we're gonna. How do you type franchise? How do you spell franchise? Okay. Oh god, the Fate stuff is a complete mess. Yeah, but you have to support this. So like I always was not really that hyped over the structure that you have multiple like in all of those lists, like my anime list or any list, that they have like for each season of anime there is a new entry, and for the manga and novels this is not the case. It's not. I'm not a fan of that. Don't ask me. I'm literally getting 5s in German. I mean, well, in my exam for the Abitur, for my final exam, I also got a E, like a 5, a E. So, yeah, whatever. So, okay, so you have like a franchise, okay? Obviously a franchise has an ID, which is, the fuck, what did I type? DD? Which is a primary key, okay? Primary key. Very important. Primary key, we got that. Franchise. Actually, how do you... Is it just that? Yeah, okay, so you got an ID, which is a primary key. And then you have stuff like a title. Don't ask me. So, yeah, you have a title. You have an ID. What else do you have? In a franchise. You have a creator. Yeah, description. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, description is good. You have a description. You have a creator. Underscore ID. So this here is a foreign key, okay? This is a foreign key, so we got a creator ID. Actually, hold on. No. Wait. That's not how it works. Give me a second. Because like this here relate. Okay, I gonna take. Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna draw that thing. Holy shit. By the way, give me a. I'm gonna go into draw.io because that's a bit better, I think. Create a new diagram. I need an entity relationship diagram. Can you read it? I hope you can read it. Can you even read it on programming screen? I think you can read it, right? So, okay. French, not French. Franchise, okay. So you got a primary key. What the fuck? Oh my goodness, I hate that already. Holy shit. It's not good for making entity relationship things. Holy shit. Okay, so we got a franchise primary key, and this is franchise ID. Franchise ID, which is UN64. Not now. Obviously. So then you have a name. I just call it ID, name, and not additionally franchise in front of it. Or actually, no, let's keep it. Franchise name, which is a voucher, voucher 50. I don't know. The problem is, like, you probably want to store multiple different names and translations. So you have to define what this franchise name is, and you could make then an external table for the different translations if you want to. But like that makes it a little bit harder in regards of searching, I think. You can still make it by just changing the views and stuff, but still. So I'm not quite sure if we should put the names into external table directly and then go on from there. I think that would be probably the best. So we do not store the name in here, okay? Drachwex, we're not gonna store the name in here because you have multiple kinds of translations. You would then have to prioritize one kind of translation of the whole show. You could say you take in the native, or you take in the Romanji version if you want to. But I think it's probably the best if you just say we just externally save the names and go from there. I think that's probably the best, honestly. So we're not gonna store franchise name here. So what do but the same is also for the descriptions. So then you also have multiple, you can then store multiple description translations, theoretically. I mean, just having a franchise ID by itself is also already okay. And creators, it could be a pair of, it could be a group of creators. Also having a field for that is also not the best thing. We could store a creation date. How about that? That's universally. We could store a creation date. But like we could also dynamically get to the creation date by just looking of all the novels and whatnot, and then take the earliest note of that. If we want to. Does this make sense to have a table with just an ID? Relational database. Table with just one column. Is a one column table good design? In terms of relational algebra, this would be an unary relation, meaning this thing exists. Yes, it's fine to have a table defining such a relation. For instance, to define a domain, which is pretty much what we want. The values of such a table should be natural primary keys, of course. Yeah, obviously. A lookup table of prime numbers is what comes to my mind first. Yes, it's certainly a good design to design a table in such a way as to make it most efficient. Bad RDMS is centered around inefficiency. However, I have found that most cases of single column design could benefit from additional column. For example, state codes can typically define a full state name spelled out in a second column, or a backlist can have nodes associated. But if your design really does not need that information, it's perfectly okay to have a single column. Don't get what you mean with the Romanji version. Are they like specific for only some parts? Or are they like a complete spin off for like a complete new growth of its own? No. Like I want to create with you, Dachwax, the ultimate, like my dream anime DB, okay? Because you really got me hooked right now. For whatever reason, you really got me hooked right now. I don't know why, but like thinking about, I just simply love software architecture. It's unbelievable, but I absolutely enjoy software architecture. So, if you have a look, so this is like my most favorite anime tracking site, AniList. I do not watch One Piece. It's just the next best thing I got on their browsing site. I'm not even logged in. But if you go over here, you got like a lot of stats, okay? And there is like, you have like a Romanji version, One Piece. And then you have an English translation and then a native translation. And then some other synonyms. Actually, let's pick a different one. Why is that so high? Holy shit. Let's take a Furieta. So there you go. You have like a Romanji version, which is like, this is essentially Japanese, but written with Latin characters. Then you have an English translation, and then you have the actual native translation in like kanji or whatever. And also other translations. So, and that's the name of it. And you can also translate then the description of it differently if you want to. So it's rather hard to define something in that regard, in my opinion. And like I just looked up here over on Stack Overflow if if in a relational database, it's fine to have a table with just one field as primary, can't they say it's totally fine? And that's what we're gonna go with, okay? So we have a franchise, obviously, and that franchise contains only one primary key, okay? There is not much to it. This is our primary key, and that's about it. We don't have we do not have anything else. So, at least in this franchise table here. So what we have, so a franchise, now we want to store the title. So we're gonna store here, we have now here a table, and we're gonna call it franchise underscore title, okay? And we don't have a primary key. We don't need one, okay? We don't need a primary key. You may want one, but we don't need one here right now. We have here a foreign key though, which is the franchise ID. Franchise ID, which is a UN64 and not null. Okay, and now we have to store the translation. So we have to store the language. I don't know, but I think you can define at least in PostgreSQL, you probably can. I'm like 99% sure that you can, to define like custom enums. So, and there are one or whatever, and I want to have like a translate language ID, essentially, like this EN underscore US thing, or then you have the EN underscore Great Britain, and then you have like DE for Germany, or DERU for Austria, or whatever. I'm not quite sure what the data type would be, honestly. So language, and then I say language code, language underscore code. I don't know. Well, for names I plan to use the English one as default and set the others ones as other names that are still considered when searching, or can be set to try and specific ones, but that might land in a file. So for now, main English and the others are just others. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, DracoX, if you want to do that, but like, I don't see the reason why I should put in the language translation of one specific thing into the franchise table, and then have all the other ones in a separate table, because I cannot put all of them in here. That's bad. That's just simply bad database design. So what I'm just going to do is I have one table containing all the different translations, including the English translation. How it will look in the end on the website or the Discord bot or whatever, that doesn't matter to me. I can define that, what I actually want. But for now, I'm just saying I have here my franchise ID, because like in my language here, because like in my language, because there I then can store all the different translations at one place, essentially, without a big deal. I can then create SQL requests that combine the franchise the franchise title with the franchise together, and then respond to me accordingly. So that in the end, DracoX, this is the amazing thing about IT and stuff. In the end, I can make an SQL request, which is then what your database would, what your library would do, that looks exactly the same as if you have the language code inside of your franchise table. It doesn't matter. It's just like internally our data structure is different. Okay, I'm just hyped. Okay, I'm just hyped. Please let me. I just want to hype a little bit more. So I'm gonna copy that because I need a new entry. I don't know what to do about that line here, honestly. That's a bit... That annoys me a bit. Like, how do I handle that stupid line? Yeah, get your hype. I love software architecture. Ah. I don't know why, but This is pure love. You have to understand. But I don't... I'm annoyed right now. Hold on a second. Is there a way to... Wait, no, wait. There's entity relation. Ah! Okay, hold on. Can I just simply... I mean, I just need a row. Ah, okay. So now we got language, and then we got the actual title. Okay, wait. So this is the title underscore language. And now we have here the title text. And that's the... Well, and that is varchar. I don't know what we should take. 128? Maybe? And this is not allowed to be null. Okay, so and with that we got the franchise title table. Okay, good. So now we also have a relation here. It would be great if this window here would be a little bit bigger, honestly. This stuff is so small. Hard to see. One option to many. One optional to many. Many to many. Many. It's a bit hard to decide because, like, translating my German knowledge over to that. This is not the case. So I got... Is it this? One mandatory to many optional. That's what I want. Because we have many optional franchise titles for one franchise. Yeah? Actually, what kind of thing is this here? I'm just curious. So that's just a single one. What's the difference? Does that even exist? I can't see one that that exists like that. Whatever. This here seems like the correct relation. So I got like one franchise ID. Good. But this could allow us as 2000, but embeds are different. So I guess when I say it's not far off, as I would need to split up or cut it off at some point. Yeah, I mean I could also use text, then it's completely variable, but that's not the best thing because you maybe want to make it a little bit faster. So I guess I'm gonna remove this relationship here because that's not what should be done here. Okay, so we got a so this here's not franchise title, so now we got the franchise description. Okay, So that's the franchise description. So we again need a franchise ID, but this time this here is the description language, and we got the description text. But here definitely I gonna go with text because that's a variable size. I don't want to have to split it up, so we just directly go here with then text. Just makes more sense in my eyes. I don't even know if it's a good idea to make this here a relational database. It could be even better to make it a NoSQL database, but I'm actually not sure about that. I haven't worked with NoSQL databases, so for now I'll go with relational. Okay, so we got now the title and description for a franchise in, okay? So now we got franchise staff, okay? I don't know, do we have a primary key for our franchise stuff? I don't think we have. So we again need a franchise ID. Okay, but this time bit new. So this time this is foreign key 2, and this here is staff ID UN64. Not now. Yeah, I haven't worked with any not relational DBs, so don't even know enough to work with them at the time. Okay. My biggest question right now, what is this here? Okay, and that is now franchise staff role, which is staff role, not null. So this is again a custom enum which describes, is this an author, is it a co-creator, what is it exactly, okay? So that's what this here is supposed to mean. I need one mandatory to one optional. No, not to one optional. One mandatory to many optional. Franchise ID goes up to our franchise. So now I need a new relation. Lil. Okay, why are they entered? Why are there tables in an entity relationship? I thought. Okay, we're gonna plan out the tables right away. I don't care about so it's not an entity relationship model anymore. I'm very sorry, Drachwax, but I guess we're directly gonna plan the tables. I guess this is directly table planning. We don't have an entity relationship model here right now. I'm very sorry. I hope you're not annoyed. And code is part of the PK from it. My DB teacher would scream because of lacking marking of the keys. Well, it's fine. I can later fix it. And the language code is part of the P key of the primary key. You haven't worked with any node relations, don't you know? What do you mean? We don't have a primary key here. We only have a foreign key in the franchise descriptions and titles. We don't have a foreign key. We don't have a primary key. We just have one form. one foreign key. We don't need a primary key. Or what is your, or what do you want to say me, or what do you want to tell me? Obviously not now. Well, do what you do. I don't want to explain since difficult stuff to write in text is not something I can do in a good way. I mean, you can't just search for some for something on the interwebs and then send me that. If you want to. I just simply don't see an inherent problem right now. That's my biggest issue right now. But like, if you see one, then point me towards it. What the exact issue is. I mean, I would be glad to learn, you know? But like, someone has to tell me if I do something terribly wrong. Description, no. So that's just a quick search. What is the best way to create multi-language database? To create a localized table for every table is making design and querying complex. Obviously. In other case, to add column for each language is simple but not dynamic. Please help me to understand what is the best choice for enterprise applications. What we do is to create two tables for each multilingual object. E.g. the first table contains only language related data, primary key, etc. And the second table contains one record per language containing the localized data plus the ISO code of the... Ah, I could do that, that's true. In some cases we had a default language field so that we can fall back to that language if no localized data is available. Huh. Well, the simplest way to explain is that from my teacher so far is that every table has a PK, even if it's a PK that exists through more than one field. And one such field is so F key can become a part of the PK. I guess that's the more. I guess the SQL language and the SQL engines, the database engines can probably do that by themselves in the end. So, yeah. But that makes sense. They use a varchar here. It's just landed in the design, so kinda stuck out for me. I mean, even if they here don't say anything in regards to that. Ugh. Yeah, it might be just that I'm learning it a bit different. Doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. But I just saw it makes total sense, you know? Doop. Why should I make that a separate table? It's just stupid. Doop. Doop. Franchise info. Franchise info language. Franchise title. Franchise description. Makes a lot more sense now. In my opinion, at least. Didn't see that too. Staff info language. And then we got staff name. He is also called language, so I guess it's fine. Okay. So I guess that's fine for now. So now we got now a franchise with some info, we got a staff with some info, and we have a franchise staff relation with some additional information, like the role that particular staff member had. The biggest problem I'm thinking of right now, what if this staff member had multiple roles? Because then the franchise staff table has to have maybe an auto increment ID or whatever, with which we can handle that. Shall we do that, guys? Drachwax, what do you think? Should we do that? Having that to be an auto increment primary key, so that we can have a relation between a franchise and a staff member multiple times, but for different franchise staff roles. I mean, I will make the IDs anyways auto increment. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't auto increment it for franchise or for the staff. You don't increment the auto increment those primary keys here. No. Bad Drachwax. Bad Drachwax. You're gonna use snowflake IDs. I will force you to. Well, we will sort it at some point. Not if we talk about a real world restaurant or something. I mean, but like, if you have like a mangaka or something, then that one is the character designer, and the author at the same time. So he had two different staff roles. And I mean, do you actually know what a snowflake ID is, Drachwax? Not null and auto increment. What a name. We will talk later about it anyways in more detail at some point and define it more. For now, the structure is important. So in my opinion, if one person can have multiple different roles in a specific franchise or different or anime or whatever, anime or whatever. Okay. So we got now at least a base thing for the franchise. So now now we go to the next very important table, which is anime. Yeah, thanks to Discord botting that I did. Okay. Okay, so we got an anime, which has obviously an anime ID, unit 64, which is not null. So split out rows into their own table and the staff and relate to it as one-to-many. Yes. That wasn't never really the discussion. That always had to happen because a franchise could have multiple staff members, so we needed this definitely. The thing is, do we need this primary key here or not? Because if we don't have the primary key, because then only one staff member can only have one staff role. So he could be like author, and that's it. But like what I think is that for a franchise or later on also for a manga or whatever, the same person can have multiple roles. For example, he can be responsible for character design as well as being the author. Okay? Or maybe like author and creator, two different roles. Like you have someone created a franchise, but someone and then and one. But then for like a novel or something, you also are the author of the novel. Okay, well that's a bit. But yeah, I mean, but especially in regards of manga or whatever, the same person or an anime, that same person was the author and the character designer. That's totally possible. And like I want to reflect this ability, so I would say that one staff member can have multiple roles within a franchise or manga or anime or whatever. Well, I guess the staff role could be taken out and be made its own table. Let's not need to put something of these, I guess. I'm not quite sure what you mean, DarkYX, with that. That's why I'm saying you have a table of roles for each franchise staff. Yeah, but like we... So, okay, wait. So what do you want... So what you actually want is that I go in here and then say like franchise staff role. Franchise staff ID. There is something in there. It annoys me a lot. Why did I remove that guy? So I meant, but I'm not good in excuse me, not a table of roles for each staff member, but a table of all roles, and you just relate them to a staff member. But a table of all roles, just relate them to a staff member. It's okay. You could even just have a join table relates to generic roles table. And this DB is goddamn complicated, so we take the help we can get. Yeah. Wait. So split out roles into their own table in staff and relate to its... Well, I guess the staff row could be taken out. Where its own table. Doesn't really need to put something like these again. That's why I'm saying you have a table of roles for each franchise staff. Excuse me, not a table of roles for each staff member, but a table of all roles, and just relate them to a staff member. Hey, that's what we just did. We had like a franchise. We had a franchise. We have for each franchise ID. For each franchise, we then had. I don't quite get what you mean, honestly. We just had this, essentially. for each franchise. So like if there is a staff member inside of a franchise, you have in your franchise staff table, then an entry for a franchise, then a role, and then the staff member that fulfills that specific role. And then like if the same staff member has multiple roles, then you have like again one more franchise ID, one more staff ID, and then again a franchise staff role. But we need then a primary key, because then that's multiple that can be the case multiple times. So you're saying franchise staff is the join table? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Franchise staff is the join table. It's just we need this primary key here, because otherwise the relation between franchise ID and staff ID, like, we cannot have multiple times. So you can have multiple franchise under staff. Per staff member. Yes. Thanks to the primary key franchise staff ID, which is an auto increment. Without that, that would be not the case. But with it, that is the case. With this primary key, this is the case. We have multiple franchise underscore staff entries per staff member. You can have multiple franchise underscore staff entries per staff member, but if without the primary key, this is not the case. I see. I guess what's confusing is there's no staff role table. This staff role is an enum. It's an enum of the different roles a staff member can have. So like author, whatever. So this is not a foreign key. It doesn't like this is not really something dynamic. There are just a couple of roles a franchise staff can have, and yeah, there you go. And that's an enum. Ah, my bad. I thought it was an foreign key. Ah, okay. Now we solved the confusion. Okay. No, it's not a. It's an enum. It's not a foreign key. Otherwise, there would be foreign key 3 in front of here, which is not the case. So this is a custom data type essentially with restrictions and stuff, which is running like an enum, which is possible with PostgreSQL. That's okay. So back to our actual Dapesboy, you are fine with the setup here, right? With how I created the franchise staff. Starting to make sense. Sorry for the distraction. Okay. No worries. I mean, like this kind of distraction just makes me think more about it if it actually makes sense, so we can reevaluate it if it actually makes sense to do it as I wanted to do. So there's no problem with that. Okay, so now we want to work on anime, manga, novels, and whatnot, okay? So, we have an anime is querying on the enum fast, like on an int. Guess if it's indexed? I mean, enum is literally just an integer internally, so yeah, it's the same. At least if it's not bad made. It should be just simply an integer. Enums are not strings or whatever, that's just an integer. And like each enum name translates to one integer essentially. So it's fine, it's fine. So, okay, next question. Drachwa X, that's a question for you. Or maybe also other people, but I think you can understand more. So, like I already said, in like any list, whatever, you have one entry per season or even season part. Okay. I'm not really happy with that. So, what an idea would be is to have. So, like, yeah, but we could cover it already with our franchise object already. So, but a different idea, so a different thing is now, like, we could now say, okay, you have an anime adaptation. And then you have as a sub thing, you then have the different seasons. And then for the different seasons, you have then season parts, okay? So that you have then a table like anime, you then have like anime season, and then you have an anime season part, anime season part, okay? So we could like differentiate those, but we could also say, okay, you just have anime, and then the anime season parts directly. Or you could say that anime is directly an anime season part, just as any list and whatever does it. Or we split them up. So, because like with that you could now say if you have like a spin-off or whatever, then this is a different anime. And then you have the different anime seasons for that particular spin-off. And season parts for that particular spin-off. Drachwax, are you actually still here? Or Dape's boy, do you have an idea for that? By the way, welcome to the stream. I have never seen you before, so I never said welcome, but welcome. Sorry. I guess Drachwax is not here, huh? No, Drachwax is here. Okay. Well, what I can think of right now is like have a season group, a number of episodes, and like hold them with the anime together. So like an anime is the thing, then the seasons as grouping, and the episodes to entries of the season. I don't quite get it. So you want in the database one entry, so you want a table for anime episodes, Is that what I understand? But like, I mean, the question is even like before that. Like, do you have directly the different anime seasons within a franchise? Or do you want to have like, to say, okay, you have an anime of that franchise. That anime consists of anime seasons. Because with the latter, you could then say, okay, you have an anime, which is the original one, and then you have an anime which is a remake. And this remake then consists of different anime seasons, or whatever. Just try it, Drachwax. Just try to explain it. But you're kind of getting me lost here. Okay. I show you again in AniList, okay? Give me a second. So my problem is following. If you look into Afurieta, okay? So this is like now an entry for the second season. So any list is essentially just one list, one table with the different seasons. So you have now one entry in the global table there of all the different animes, which is second season. And then you have a different entry, prequel, okay? And then in there you have the different relations to the others, even like an side story or a relation to the manga, or a relation to the light novel, okay? So you then go to sequel, and this sequel has then a back reference to its prequel, to its source, or to the other alternative, but you can see the side story, for example, is not here, because it's not like in the proper relation, in the relation table there. So that would be covered by the franchise object. But for now you can see like I have different entries. I have one entry for the second season and I have one entry for the first season, and then it's just said, okay, you guys have a relation to each other, so that this here is a sequel to the second season is a sequel to the first season. Okay, but then you have like do we have right away here one? I don't know. Let me search for Tenshuro pretty quickly. So this is... I can get it. So franchise is binding the animes by names, and animes are the own one entry for all the seasons to it. Exactly. So you have like here, like now Tenshuro season 1. So this has a sequel, which is the second season, okay? And then this guy, the problem is just this is not true. This is the first part of the season 2. The season 2 actually has 24 episodes, but like this year was released in the January last year, okay? And then in the summer season, the second half of this first season got released. Okay, and this is a completely, that's again, like this here is on the same level as the first season. So you have, like in the table, you have an entry for first season, an entry for the second season part 1, and second season part 2. Like in one table, and that like structurally, I think doesn't make much sense. And then you also have to relate, okay, you have side stories. So like you have, like you can see in the first season here, we have then a spin-off anime show, a spin-off TV series, Tenshuro Nikki, and this Tenshuro Nikki now is like sources from the Tensura Nikki manga, and this guy sources from the from the light novel, which is stated as parent. So like there is a lot redundancy or inconsistent data. Essentially, that's like one of the biggest things here. There's a lot of inconsistency in here in regards of relations to others, because there's just one giant table. Not that doesn't make sense, like literally the only thing I would group it is with the season and just ignore the parts, like that doesn't make sense. It's with the seasons and just ignore the parts, like that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so you would say you don't even have anime seasons parts. You have like the first season and the second season combined in one entity. Okay, but the problem is like with notifications and stuff. So I really would want to separate those, so that I would want to have like an anime season part essentially. I really would want to have an anime season part. You could just say you then have like, if you have an anime season right away, you then just simply have one anime season part and then good. It's just that I think it's a bit... I need to separate those for the sake of like notification and reflecting what actually happens in real life, essentially. So, do you think having this structure is good? I have like a franchise, and then in the franchise I have animes, and the anime consists of anime seasons, and each season consists of anime season parts. So because like a spin-off anime would be then a different anime entity essentially, like not a new table but a different but a new entity essentially. Okay, a new entry in the anime table. So that one franchise can have multiple animes, like the main story anime and then a spin-off anime. So at least that would be what I would want to do. Well, you can model it now, for now, and talk it later, since I don't want to try to understand you and then adopt the best approach. I just read, I don't want to try to understand you. Okay, later, since I do want to try to understand you and then adopt the best approach. Okay. Then I'm gonna model it that way, because I think the other stuff would just simply not make much sense, in my opinion. So, I directly take the anime, like that. So we have a primary key, and now I have to add a foreign key, which is the franchise ID uint64 not null. Hold on. There you go. So that's what I would do. Then I have an anime season. Which is a season ID. I guess I just call it season instead of anime season. Season. Nah. Let's call it anime season, because then I can then it makes just logically wise a little bit better to understand, because then we can say, then we can better define what the difference between an anime season and the actual season is, like spring season. So that means just season is then like spring season, winter season, whatever, release season essentially, and anime season is like the the season of an anime. Anime season ID is again nice snowflake ID, so UN64 not null. So that would be this for now. I mean, we also need like the languages, so we need again more tables, but we're gonna add those additional tables later on. And then one anime season may consist of multiple season parts. Not the primary key. And we, okay, hold on a second. Totally messed up there, hold on. I need a foreign key. And this here's then the case. Holy shit. That was a mess. There you go. So that is anime ID UN64 not null. And then I have here an anime season part ID UN64 not null. And again a couple of rows. I wish I could select the... I do not want to select you. Can I unselect you, please? Deleting rows is difficult. There you go. No. There you go. And that is anime season ID UN64 not null. And this relation comes from down there. Okay. Give me a second, I have to... Yeah, holy shit. Music is totally messed up. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. I also... Like, what I also had an idea for fixing this franchise stuff. I could theoretically do, like, create one field inside of the franchise for each kind of staff. And then having those to be UN64s, and but I say they are allowed to be null. That's a different way to do that, but that probably takes some more memory. But it would be probably faster because we don't have a relation between tables, between 3 tables instead we just have a relation between 2 tables. Anyway, now we need the info tables. Now we need info tables. So anime info which is now anime ID, anime info language, anime name, obviously. Guess we're gonna have to do it that way. No. It's gonna have to do it that way. That is anime description. Text not null. Actually, let us. Should the description be null? Loud? Nah, whatever. Not now. Okay, so what else do we have information regarding of an anime? I mean, we again have staffs. So... By the way, we have a relation here between the anime ID and here. There is obviously a relation. So, franchise staff. This is not the case. This is now anime staff. Anime staff. Anime staff. Anime ID. Staff ID. And then we have anime staff role. You again relate to anime ID. You go down here. And now comes a giant one. From our staff ID down here to our staff ID up there. Wait, do we even need franchise staff since I can just query the animes for the staff and put them together? No? I mean, I don't know, even like for now, like, do we want to have different tables? Like, do we want to have a separate manga table and then a separate novel table? Or do we want to have one thing? I'm thinking about the metadata, especially like here we have episodes, and in a manga we have volumes and chapters. In a light novel we have volumes and chapters, and in a web novel we only have chapters. And then in a webtoon we also have only chapters. So I'm not quite sure how we should structurize that yet. So yeah. But like my main Dracox, the main problem is like why I have made the franchise staff is like if you have like you have a franchise that now consists of animes and mangas and light novels and web novels and stuff, and like obviously the thing that was created first and the creator or author of that is then probably also the creator of the whole franchise. So like the role creator should then be applied to the first one, but maybe there apply some different rules you want to say, and maybe something has changed in the meantime, so it's pretty hard to pinpoint that down, I think, into who is a staff member of a given franchise and of whatnot. Well, let's leave it for anime currently, since we need to do this slowly and carefully. You mean the anime staff, or what do you mean? Makes sense in some way. Yeah, in some way, I know. I also agree it makes just sense in some way. But yeah. Okay, so we have now so what else do we have infos regarding of an anime? I mean, I don't have any links to images and whatnot right now, honestly, because I don't know how to store them properly for now. So I just keep it as it is, right, like that for now. We have a name of an anime and we have a description of an anime. Incidents of adding the manga and novel. Oh, okay. So you have an anime season. So this is the information regarding an anime. Next up is information regarding an anime season. Well, the image can be saved in from of bytes holding, I guess. You use a CDN there, data lake or whatever, or a data warehouse. You don't store image data, or you should not store image data in a relational table. You just store like an ID or whatever that references that in a different storage system. At least that's how I have understood that it should be practiced. So that's the anime season ID. That's the language. We have a name for the season, we have a description for the season. I mean, that makes sense, right? Well, yeah, that is true, but like we still need some way, at least to hold the image, so I guess another thing comes into play, I guess. Yeah, like, that's not something we care about, in like, the only thing we would, I guess, care in our relation table base is that if you have then an image or whatever, then you then put in here a field containing an ID, and then how you use that ID to reference to an image file, that's then something we do not care in our relation, in our planning, our database planning here right now. So what I just realized is our anime season we should add integer field to our anime season to track, is it like like what kind of season it is. Is it the first season? Is it the second season? Is it the whatever season? Because we don't have like an order in there right now. So I would add a new row, and that is then like an anime. And now how you call that? Is that like the in the anime season index, or how should we call that? Drachwax, do you have an idea how we should call that? Anime season number? Yeah, like... just anime season number as name. I mean, we could. I just don't know if that's good or not. Let's keep it. No, I don't have a good naming sense. And for me, it's fine. Okay. I mean, we can rename it later. Okay, so now we got an anime season info. By the way, I just realized this connection is wrong. No, it's not wrong. Obviously, it's not, because we have multiple different language codes. It's fine, I'm just stupid. Okay. We have multiple. Whatever, that's fine. Like we want to have at least one season info, but maybe your maybe the front end can handle even no season info. I don't know. Whatever. Let's keep that for now. So okay, we got now some season info. The problem is we're not done. We again now. We need for the anime season 2 additional join tables. We would need one for the staff, because the staff can change between seasons. I'm not quite sure about the anime stuff then. There I'm then honestly not quite sure if we should get rid of it and say, okay, that's then with an anime season. I think we should do that. Because, like, this is just an abstract thing. There is not much information regarding that. But like, in the franchise staff, it makes a little bit more sense. But it definitely makes sense in the side of an anime season. And the staff doesn't really change between season parts. So we also don't need a staff there. But we need a staff for the anime season. We definitely need one there. And I don't think we need one over here. So I guess it's best if we just change that, honestly. I hope you're fine with that, Drafwax. It just makes more sense to me. We definitely need one staff per season, because because staff changes between seasons. But and because of that, I don't think we need a staff for the anime type over there. We don't need a staff for this anime entity over there. Okay, I guess I have to add... that's not what I wanted. I have to add reroutes. Hello? I want to... Can't I add reroutes, please? Why can't I add reroutes? I guess I simply cannot. Thanks for nothing. Biggest problem, you know, is we're still not done yet with an anime season. It needs one more table. We need 2 more tables even. We need 2 fucking more tables. You know why, Drachwa-X? Studios and producers. Are you fucking kidding me? Guess we're gonna go with two more seasons, with 2 more tables then. Anime season studio. But it's a bit different here, so we only have the anime, and this here is not an anime ID, this is an anime season ID, and this is an anime season staff ID. So we got an anime ID, and this here is studio ID, and we don't have really any role there, so we can get rid of this. That's not what I wanted. And now we need producer ID, anime season producer. So this is now an anime ID, and then we need a producer ID. Producer ID. Drachwa X, do you think we should combine like a studio and producer into one kind? So, okay, it's like, so we could not like even like the entities we try to relate the studio and producer. Should we make like a company entity? Because like, is this the case? Is there, can it be the case that the producer is the same as the studio? Because if that's the case, then we should do that. If that's not the case, we could separate it. And also, and if we and like when we combine it, that there is only a company, then we could also combine this anime season studio and the anime season producer tables. We could combine those to one, and then have one more field that then is like the anime staff role, so that we then say like then what is the company role, and then we say okay, that was the studio or that was the producer. What do you think will be better? I think the latter would be nicer, but like, well, I think there are exceptions possible, though highly unlikely. But yeah, so I get, but like, since there could be, I think it's better if we combine those. Because if we say maybe there is something else, then we would have 2 entries or whatever. And if we say, okay, we have a company table, and then we have a anime season company, and then we have a and then we have like anime season company role, and that defines if it's something was a studio or the producer, then we have reduced the amount of tables. It's pretty much the same, and if there are new kinds of relations between an anime season and a company, we just have to add it to the enum data type and don't have to create the new table. I'd rather leave it since the studios can collapse. Yeah, no, it's just like that. I'm gonna say so. I guess I'm gonna do that. You will see. It makes sense. So this is a season company. Anime season, yeah. Company. And that is anime season company role. Company role, not null. By the way, this here has to be anime season. Staff row. And then there is a company with a nice ID. Company info. Company ID. Company info language. Company name. Like that. So you now have like Funimation and 8-bit as companies in here, and they relate to the anime season somehow, and how? Based on the company role. And then there you decide, was it the producer or was it the studio? And like if studios call up, you have just simply multiple anime season company entries between like the anime, between the anime season and the different and the two studios. And then for both studios, you just say you have the company role, whatever, the company role studio. And now you have like two studios, now two studios related to a given anime season. Is that good, so? Is that fine, so? Or do you want to do it differently? Though I think we need a primary key here. Because otherwise, if there is one company that does the same, that does production as well as being the studio, then it would otherwise not be able to have a second entry in here. Now it is. So I think we're gonna go with that then. And that is an anime season company ID. And this here is, by the way, the anime underscore season ID. And we got a company ID and an anime season company role. So there you go. Okay, duh. So now, anime season part. So I think we're done with the anime season now, so let's continue with the anime season part. And the anime season part gets a normal field, which is the number of episodes. Or wait, Drachwa X. Do you want to have new entities for each episode? Do you want to have an entity for each episode? It would, for example, allow us to cross-reference it easier in the database if you then say, okay, you want to have discussions for different episodes. Then you can say, okay, you have like an episode ID, and then you can reference to that in a discussion or whatever. And then you can say you have discussions about a different about a thing, and for example, that is an anime, and that is a specific episode or whatever. Or would you just say, I'm gonna add to the anime season part now the amount of episodes that are? Well, considering some things, I would say yeah. Okay, so you want to have episodes. Let's go! Oh my goodness, what a monster this is. Dracho X, we are creating a monster, you know? The fuck? This is ridiculous. And this is an anime episode. It's gonna be a lot of data, but well, we are creating some big. The problem is like we are exceeding the scope of something like AnyList, you know? In regards of relation between animes and stuff, at least. Whatever. And that is an anime season part ID. And very important, this is now an episode ID. Anime episode ID. And obviously, this has some info. Yeah, that is clear since we are making animes, mangas, and novels. Yes, but like even in regards of animes, we make it more detailed because we look at each anime itself, and at each episode itself, and it makes a difference between us. There is a difference between an anime and an anime season, which is bonkers, considering how the other databases do it. Episode info, then you have an anime, then you have not an anime season ID, that's a episode ID, and then you have anime episode, hold on, that's not true, that's an anime season info language. How could I name that wrong? I don't know. Bad penna, bad penna. Like, this is the first prototype, so there is still stuff to do after this, and none of that there is a lot of optimization to do. Also true. So, we got this now. Okay, so we got a foreign key, anime episode ID uint 64, not null, yep. Anime season ID, anime episode ID, episode info language, obviously. Then we have an anime episode name. By the way, this is an anime season name, and there is an anime season description. Duh. Okay, so, and there is an anime episode description. I mean, you want that, you know? You want an entry for each anime episode and whatnot. Hold on. I'm doing weird things right now, I just realized. So I have an anime season here, an anime season part, but like the anime episode info is for whatever connected to the anime season part. No. And we also, so okay, so now we have to focus on the parts. So such a part definitely has a number, just like this guy over here. And that's certainly the case. So we have to come on. Why can't I not put it in there? Anime season part number, not, which is uint and not now. Yeah, I know that is going to. I think it's easy to know how much. Hence. So we have quite a lot to do. Yeah, I know that it's gonna be a lot to do, and I did not think it's easy. So I fully know how much of a pain this is gonna be. And we reached 100 messages for today. Woohoo! Do we need an info for each season part? I mean, the descriptions are pretty much the same, but like we could add an info part, and this info part then simply contains information on the on this anime season part. What like a wrap up? What would be in there? Drachwax, do you think we need an anime season part info entity or not? Like a description. I mean, there's probably no title for an anime season part, but maybe a description. I don't know. Should we add one or not? We definitely have one for the episode.
Oh, cock.
That's obviously, because each episode has a different name and has a description to sum up what happens in there. But should we also do that for the part? Or is it enough to have that in the season? That's the big question. Let's edit. If you don't say anything, I'm gonna edit. That's not what I wanted. Well, okay. What is your opinion? Tell me about it. I don't have an idea. Okay. Anime season, part ID. We have a language, but we don't have a name. We only have a description. And this here is anime season part info language. This is a field name. Holy shit. Anime season part description. Thank you very much. Here you go. This is pure madness, you know? Okay. I think we are done in regards of that. Oh, fuck! Not a big deal. I just realized we need a number in our anime episode. Obviously, we need a number. Anime episode number uint not now. I mean, it matters in which order the episodes are stored, right? Right? Anime season part. Okay. We are done for that, I guess. Let me drink something pretty quickly. Drachwax, we are not done yet. But for that part, we are done. But we are not completely done yet. Holy shit, look at that. Look at that mess. So like, I won't store now recommendations and stuff, because that can be easily done with tables outside of that scope. Also in regards of discussion threads or reviews or cross-references to like stream providers. Damn you and your misleading words. You are the one who is misleading. Okay, so back to topic. So I don't care about this stuff for now, like favorites, popularity, scores. This is something we do not care about. The scores, popularity, favorites, because that can be dynamically created for the additional stuff where we just reference the ID. There is no a big deal. We don't have to change any tables we have right now. We have the producers, we have the source. There are, for whatever reasons, hashtags. I don't know if you want that, DrachwaX. I don't need it, at least. But we care about genre. We care about tags. I'm not sure about the synonyms. We could add more synonym stuff. That's certainly the case, but I'm not quite sure. Like, because like this year is actually called Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken. But like if you want to like, but you referenced often as Tensura. So that's why Tensura is in here in the synonyms. So we probably also want to have that. Like statistics 7, so just leave it be for now. Yeah, I know. On the most important stuff. So like, okay, so like we got the synonyms, which we could add. We could add hashtags. But what I what I definitely want to add is genre, tags. Okay, I want to add genre. I want to add tags. No way around that. And now the question is, like, we probably also want format. We don't need an episode count because we can dynamically create that. But we maybe want to add a duration for each episode. We want to have the status of season part and anime. And we want to have a start date and an end date. And we want to have a season. But we don't care about the statistics here. So like these are the statistics, the rest is static information. So let's go. Okay, let's start with the simple stuff, because for the tags and genre I have to add more tables. I have to add a tag table, I have to add a genre table. I don't know about hashtags and synonyms. I will leave them for now, but I definitely want the format, episode duration, status, and whatnot. So to-do list: genre, tags, synonyms, status, format, episode duration, start and end date, and season. Format is not a question mark, and episode duration is also not a question mark, but a question mark for synonyms and hashtags, I would say. So let's go at that crappy shit, I would say. Hold on. I don't need this here anymore. So so the anime could be split up into anime seasons and whatnot. So it's like just reference the idea of manga and make a table with names, and that's the end of it, I guess. Yeah, but we need to yeah, that's again a joint table. So like something like an anime info essentially, and then you have like the anime ID and then the different synonym strings. That would be the synonyms. Okay, for now, anime season, because like the type of anime, the type of how a season gets released is different between seasons, but not different per parts. So that means the format, I would put in the format into the anime season. So, anime season format, and that is then a new data type. I don't know how I should call it. I just go with format, okay? Not null. Yeah. The question marks are more like, can we even get that info reasonably? Yes. We can. Like, the format is TV if it first gets shown as a TV show, because it got licensed by a Japanese TV company. And an ONA if it's directly released on a streaming platform like Netflix. So that's the format. You can just like check out other stuff. And episode duration, I mean, yeah, you know the episode. You can just look at the episode and then define the episode duration. So, and I mean, we could say you are allowed to set it to null if you want to, then you don't have to provide it. But like, if you know it, then you can provide it. If you don't know it, you don't need to provide it. You certainly could do that. So, anime season format. There you go, we got a format. We don't have an episode count, doesn't matter for us. Episode duration also not. A status though. We care about a status. So that's the anime season status. Status, not null. Like, is it currently running? Does it wait for release? Blah, blah, blah. So, updated to do genre, tags, synonyms, hashtags. So, genre, tags, synonyms, hashtags, status, format. Episode duration, start and end date. What is season? I don't get what you mean with season. Oh, and we need releases in. So like, okay, no, that's the start date. But like, we have to add an optional field that that defines, like, because like an anime might have a release like will release in the year 2023 or whatever. So we have to have the ability to say will release. We have to add a field release day, release year essentially. For now, anime season status, not null. Good, okay. Now we have anime season. Okay, wait. This is actually not a season thing. This is a season part thing. Start date and end date. Anime season start, which is date time, not null. Actually, it is allowed to be null. Because if it's just announced that it will happen, there is no start date yet. So, to be announced essentially. I hate that I... Anime season end date time. Null. So update 2. Genre, text, synonyms, hashtags, status format, episode duration, start and end date, season, expected release date. Yeah, I still don't know what your season is there. And by the way, you can remove start and end as well as status and format now from your to-do list. Because I put it already in. Looking that up right now. What are you looking up right now? You can remove it, or what do you mean? Ah, now I get what you mean. Season, like, okay, yeah, you are right. You are right. Season makes sense. Yes, 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 yes. I was just stupid. You did nothing wrong, Drachwax. I'm just. It's like spring season, winter season, or this kind of season. That's what it meant. Now I get it. Right, we said like... It's literally called anime season of the data type season. With our naming scheme, it makes sense, so I'm fine with that. Okay, so... Row. Anime release date exact bit null. Or I think there is probably a bool type. So what I did with this release anime season release date exact. So this here is the expected release date. So now, Drachwa-X, you will have to understand that first, okay? So what this here will mean is that if this bit, this boolean is set to true, then the season start date time will be, this timestamp will be used in sense of this exact day and month the season will release, okay? But if this here is set to false, then the start date time will be used as the expected release date. So that you can then say in the front and you just display in 2018. So you have like any kind of day in 2018, and if the release date exact is then set to false, then you know okay, this start, the season start could be interpreted as in which year it probably will release. Yeah, well, not what I thought, but all right. Okay. So, I mean, with that we reduced a little bit of the, like, we reused one field for something else, because like the other thing, like the expected release date will disappear when we have a finite release date. So we don't need this here anymore. We could make this data exact an integer, so that we could say there are different levels, like, okay, this year, or this half year, this quarter year, this month, or this week, and then this day, so that you could point that down. We could even do that. Would you prefer that? Would you prefer that instead of bool, we're gonna use an integer that allows us to classify the date precision? Like a new data type called date precision? Also, by the way, this doesn't have to be a date time. It's enough if it's just a date. Because, like, having even a timestamp when it will release, that's a bit of we cannot really get that in a reasonable way, so date should be enough. There you go. So this is all related to a season part, okay? So... Holy shit! Those names get even longer! Anime season part release date exact. Hey, so just 2 years. Okay. So anime season part start, anime season part end, and anime season part season. Lovely names. Holy shit. I should kill myself. We have long boys. Yeah, we do have. Okay. So what do we have left on our to-do list? Genre tags, synonyms and hashtags, episode and episode durations. Let's do the episode durations because it should be rather easy. And then we say anime, episode, duration, time duration, can be now. So update for to-do list, genre tags, synonyms, hashtags, episode duration. Now you have to do update 5 because I just added the episode duration. Genre tags, synonyms, hashtags. Holy shit! I don't know in what madness I am right now to... What the fuck just happened there? Holy... But like, holy macaroni. So update 5, genre, tags, synonyms, hashtags. Okay. So this here is anime. In the database madness. Synonyms. Anime synonyms. We don't have a primary key. But we have a foreign key. So let me add that one. Which is anime ID. By the way, we need to do the same for the franchise. Should we do that directly for the franchise and not for an anime? Because like if you say Tensura, you mean like also light novel, web novel and stuff. I don't think that there is like a synonym where you reference one specific anime or one specific season of an anime or whatever. Do you? It's probably better if we do that for a franchise, isn't it? What do you say, Drachwax? I guess better on franchise, okay. Franchise, you get some more weird shit. So this here is franchise synonyms. The problem is that genre and tags we have to do for a franchise and for an anime. Because like, you could say, okay, Because, like, for example, Tensura is a perfect example for that. Because, like, Tensura is the franchise, and we have the main story here with some stuff, okay? But, like, we have a spin-off TV show, and this spin-off TV show, for example, has episodic as tag, which the main show does not have. I'm not quite sure why we don't have slice of life tag in here, but I would definitely say this here is a slice of life show, so I would add a slice of life show over there, and the main show doesn't have that, so yeah. And but like I would then generally say the franchise Tensura has these tags, but this specific anime has these tags. So I'm not quite sure what you would want to have, Drachwax. That's my opinion. You can decide too. So, like, what's your opinion on that in regards of tags and genre? In the meantime, I'm gonna continue finish this here. Anime. No, that's franchise synonym. And this here is well, we can basically add them to the enemies and then maybe sum up the most used tags in the franchise. Would be a way to reduce some data, but not much. I mean, you don't really have to reduce the data in that sense. It's better to have like reduce the things in regards of making it more to make it more dynamic, or to make it more or make it faster or whatever. But in this case, I don't think I would not say that there is no technical benefit of well, actually, summing those up is more is probably slower, but like it's not. I don't like you could cache that, so I don't. But like, I don't know. Like, I definitely want to have the tags. I definitely want to have the tags and stuff in the animes, but like, I'm not sure if we should add those two in the franchise, or if we should sum those up from the animes and mangas and whatnot. So, but the reason for reducing stuff should not be to save storage capacity. Ignore that fact. If you care about stuff like that, care about the speed of it. Relatively difficult in this case, yeah. For now, let's just leave it. We can edit later on. You can see it's just in one table. It's like two tables with a foreign key and then the actual content key, so content data. So it's not difficult to add that stuff later on. Okay, so we got the synonyms, we got the hashtags. Next is genre and tags. By the way, I just realized maybe I should change the title of the stream. Well, whatever. the category is software development, so it's fine. Whew, okay. Oh, okay, but that's also... Actually, let's so that we can search by franchise and not only anime. Oh, in regards of the tags... Yes. Yeah, but I mean, later on you can like when we then add manga and stuff, you could then say you sum up the tags from the tags and genres from the animes, from the mangas and whatnot. So I mean, it's just 2 tables, so we can add them definitely. But for now, I want to add them in. I want to add the ones for the anime, okay? Because we definitely know that we want that thing. So. Why is there not an empty list? Because I'm so freaking annoyed by that. Don't have a primary key. So we have an anime ID, U and 64 not null. So this here is anime genre. F foreign key. By the way, what is the difference between a genre and tags? Can someone explain it to me? Isn't that pretty much the same? Actually, you can do it in a way that we sum them up, but like save it in a table to the French. Yeah, but like that's then redundant. Like redundant data causes problems because like easily to get data inconsistency and stuff. Well, whatever. Anime ID. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's actually Google. What is the difference? Tags versus genre. What? Also, it's the same thing. Also, I need to call it. I think something like to have the menu and tag which can be downloaded with each book from place like live with these is probably the road column as the downloadable tag column. I like to keep track of what the official tags are from it. Draw a column so I can control the order the books appear in the collection. Tags using categories. So what's the difference? Categories are used to group related posts together and to quickly tell a user what a post is about. A post can assign to multiple categories, but must be always assigned to at least one, depending on how you episode categories can be displayed on the top bottom post within menu. Tags. Tags similar to categories are generally used to describe your post in more detail. You can use many tags as you want and post, however, unlike categories, they are entirely optional depending on how your website looks. So genre is more like handpicked and tags are user-defined, I guess. Yeah, but like I would not like so in any list the difference is that genres are set and the tags are added by the user, and the users can like rank them, like upvote and downvote the different tags. What would you say, Drachwax? What would you want to do? I like the voting, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna differentiate between genre and tag, and genre is set by as fixed, and the tags are then votable. Okay, let's go! So then we say anime genre. I'm so annoyed that this structuring, that structuring here is a bit difficult to do. That it's hard to like realign those lines so they don't intersect through a freaking table. Since it does kind of help in some cases, but also if idiots decide wrong tags, then genre are more helpful, so kind of both systems are balancing each other. Yeah. And there are way less genre than tags. Just saying. Okay, so you got anime genre, and then you have anime genre ID. UN64 not null. So, okay. Drachbikes, that's a weird. That's now a weird thing we have to decide. Do we say we have a genre table, and this genre table then contains genres with genre ID, and then different translations of the IDs, or even if we just say just English translations, we got those then, and we then and then when we have our enemy genre, we just reference these genre in that table. With that, so that means we can dynamically add and remove new genre types. And but then like say we have these kinds of genre. Other thing we could do is we could input into our enemy genre a enum, but that means if there is a new genre, we would have to change the database essentially. E.g. the enum has to be expanded with a new enum thing. It's not that big of a deal, but that has to be done internally inside of the whole definition of the database. And the third version would be that in the enemy's genre we directly store the name of the genre, but that means we cannot translate the different genre. There is then just one translation. So what would you think? So like in my opinion, so like what I would want to do is I want to have a table, honestly. I want to have a genre table. But what would you think would be cool? Or the best thing to do? I like the dynamic type, but kind of like the language support. But we can't uphold it always, so I would choose dynamic over features. Wait, what do you mean? Dynamic, like what is dynamic? Is dynamic directly a text field? Or is dynamic like the table? Because if we have the table, we can have the translations. Or do you want the enum? Then we don't. Then we can have translations, but that's then hard coded in front end or whatever, and not in the not reflected in the database. So Like the most dynamic, thing would probably be the tables. Well, I think so. In my opinion, the best thing would be the tables. Enums are no. Okay, enums are no. So we have to decide between table or text field. So like because like in a text field, that means you can write in any kind of thing. So you have to hard code in your front end the different kinds of tags you support. And if there is a new tag coming up, then you have to put that into your hard-coded different front ends, or inside of the library, okay? Or if you allow any kind of tag, then people could write in garbage, and then it does matter. Then if you have like a Romans tag, then it matter. Then like if you type Romans wrongly and insert it, then that's a whole new tag or genre. I mean, so it's okay at least, and like you don't have checks that the shorts are then the exact same, so that you can reference, so they can search for them properly, because then you have to say front end has to make sure that you type the genre correctly, essentially. And with an external table, the front end doesn't have to be hard coded with the genre. Instead, they can look up the different genre and then say, okay, you can type in these kinds of genre. The not string version. Okay. So like I have it already in here, essentially. So that means I need a genre table now. But here we definitely have a unique ID. So this is genre ID, which is a uint64, not null. And like right now for the different translations, we would need a new table with like the genre info, with the different translations of the genre. But I think, should we directly do that, or should we just say, okay, for now we only contain the English translations, or should I directly have the multilingual implementation? What would you prefer? By the way, I'm gonna use the same exact system for the tags. Like we can also add support on the front and the language file through language files if we want. Yeah, true. But then if you say like. But then, like, we don't need but then, like, we could also say we could also take the anime genre. Then we can also say we're gonna use the text field, because then the front end can check for that you write the table correctly, the different names correctly, since you already have them in a language file. So then we could use a text field instead of referencing it to a genre table. Also, be aware, this here is probably takes less storage capacity. Duh. Doesn't matter, but like then the short, because like then genre is like typed out otherwise, and now it's an ID with 8 bytes, and otherwise it could be up to 60. It could be way more bytes because you have way more characters. I mean, I'd like to have changed the B to add language to change, since it complicates it more. So no, you don't have to change the database structure. You just have to change the content of the of the database if you want to add a language. So that's not really different if you change a file, a language file. That's then not really much different. You then just add a new you then just say database language for the translation of the genre. Add a new translation. This type of translation. This language. This text. You have to do the same for with a language file. You have to do the exact same thing for a language file. So that is not really, that doesn't really change much. The difference is just that, like, if you want to add the translation for in a language file, then you have to do that for all language files. That means for all the different front ends you have, like your bot, so like then you have to change it for your bot, you have to change it for your website and whatnot. Everywhere you have this translation file, you have to do that, and you have to release a new version of that if you have an app or whatever. And so you can look up all the stuff directly in one place, and that's the database. And there you can look up the different translations. That means I'm gonna have a new table here with short info. And you can always change it later on. As a rule of thumb. You can always change it later on. Genre ID int64 not null. Then you have the genre info language not null. Come on. Okay, so now we've got. Now I understand it. God damn, I'm a slowly easily confusable. Okay. And obviously I also need genre name And we also have descriptions for the different genre, obviously. Genre description, not null. So now we need the same thing, but this time for tag. So we got a tag ID. We got a tag info. Find descriptions for them since some don't even describe them. Haha! Lol. Tag ID. Tag info language. Tag name. And tag description. And this is anime tag ID. And there you go. Come on. There you go. Okay. So update 6, to-do list. Synonyms and hashtags. We do have them for the franchise. So you also we said we also want them for the anime, right? Didn't we? Anime synonyms and anime hashtags. Wait, I had it plural. I'm very sorry. Holy shit, how do I dare? But God, is this big? Yeah, there's so much stuff. I mean, I don't know. Do you view that as a bad thing or as a good thing? Like, this is the most detailed. Well, if this works in the end, then this is the most detailed franchise database I have ever seen. And now think about if you had to do manga and novels now. Wait, but I have to, don't I? Was this now a choke thingy, or do I have to do it? Anime synonym varchar. Anime ID. Anime. Hashtag varchar. Look at that mess. What is this? Well, no, I don't see it as a bad nor good, since we are putting effort and a lot of thought, and the goal is biz. It's reasonable, I guess. I mean, Drachwa X. You know what I just realized? I'm not sure if we should do that, honestly. We maybe want to, I don't know. But this is something I don't even know where I want to add it. Because this is something you could make franchise specific. This is something you could make anime specific, anime season specific, anime season part specific, and even anime episode specific. And Penna, I might actually do the manga and novels for you tomorrow. I meant it for right now. I mean... Oh yeah, right. It's all... Oh my god, I already have to end the stream. True. Okay, so hold on. Before I can tell you. And that is characters. Character association. Like, if you look at an anime, you have different characters. Should we do something like that too? I mean, it's something we can also add later. So it's not... So that's not that big of a deal, but like... Still, do we want to add that now? Or... so like... Let's leave it for now. Okay. 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 Look at this mess. Drachwa X. Look at this mess. From franchise to anime season to anime season part to anime episode. Over staff and companies, tags, genre, synonyms and hashtag. Oh, God. And like, it's not important right now, so I guess it's fine as we are just gonna go mad. Okay. So I wish I could add redirect points here. That would be really good. But for whatever reason, I cannot. I want to add waypoints. I also have hashtags here. Trial. Waypoints. Right click on one of the connections at the location you want to add the waypoint. Select add waypoint. Wait, already? When did I miss that? I don't know when you did miss that, but I got the hashtags and I got the synonyms in for the franchise and for the anime. I'm gonna group that shit a little bit better. Give me a second. So I'm annoyed right now at the bad grouping. So we're gonna move this stuff here up. So now that stuff is over here. So like this, all of this here is like anime related. So this is like one giant group. I also want to have like anime. And I moved over here. There you go. So this here's now all of hair. Oh. Holy shit. Why did he do that? Line. Gonna be this kind of line. So franchise staff. You go up here and franchise. You go up there. Actually with a bit of difference here. So this here is now all the franchise related things. I just want to like separate those things, group it a little bit better so it's more clear what is. So what has to be together and what not. Okay. That's not what it was supposed to be. Ta-da! So this is all anime shit. This is franchise shit. This is genre and tags, and this is staff and companies. So to make clear what I'm gonna first try is make comments to stuff, so we know what the frick we did on some stuff, and then I guess work on the novel and manga sections. Okay. Can we... is there like a small little box I could use to comment things? Like there is a container. The fuck? I guess I'm gonna use a container to describe the things. Anime. You can use the container to make clear the sections like anime. Yeah, that's what I want. I just didn't know. Should I use a container or something else? 42. There you go. Anime. Franchise. Then we got company staff. And one more, which is categorization. Categorization. Categories. Okay. All anime related shit. All franchise related shit. Categories and competent staff. Holy shit. And it's not even done. This is pure madness. This is just pure madness. AnimeDB.drive. Anime just tops everything. How many do we even have? Many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 18. Wait. Fuck! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. This doesn't look like the FicsIt-Networks. No, it's not. We spontaneously decided to do some things. 26 different tables, and we're not done. We're not done. So, is this for a school project? No, it's not. Obviously not. Okay, so, by the way, Drachwa X. So, nah, just our personal project. Freaking nurse. Hey. So, I would say what you need is for like Drachwa X. It's okay, I resemble the remark. Drachwa X. For the mangas, you need a manga table. You need a manga info table, similar we have it here for the anime for the animes. By the way, I'm gonna restructure this here a little bit quickly. Good. Okay. It's just a little bit better that way. So we get that up here. So okay, you need manga, you need manga info, you need manga genre, you need manga tag, you need manga synonym and a manga hashtag, and you need then a manga volume with a manga volume info, manga volume staff, manga volume company, and then if you want to, I don't know if you want to, manga chapter with again like the primary key and the foreign key, maybe pages if you want to, but like just page number, just a page count. We don't go into the like each individual page, but like we stay at chapters. But like then chapter, but then like page count if you want to. Need to copy paste most stuff and rename it, so it's fine. Okay. But a bigger problem, Drachwa X, I think, will be novels. So, do you want to separate light novels from web novels or not? So, actually, we could even combine light novels, web novels, and mangas into one, because like the medium is the same. So what I'm thinking of is that you have then in your manga essentially just an additional like a format, similar like we had it in the here in the anime season, that you then have like here an manga format. You can specify that in the format, no? Yeah, so that you can specify it in format. But the problem is like what I'm thinking of is like, what if you have like, yeah, okay, and then then you have like one volume, like in web novels, because usually web novels don't have like volume counts and just chapter counts. So I'm not quite sure, but I guess this is fine. So that you say then, okay, you got a you have then a manga with a you then have like a novel or whatever, or a book. I'm not sure, with a format, that is then that can then be like a generic novel or light novel or manga or web novel or whatever. And then you have again your separation in volumes and chapters. And if you have like a web novel where you only have like chapters, then you say, okay, you have like just simply one volume that contains then all the different chapters. And maybe we could then add one tag, a bit or whatever, to like say it's not shown that that's one specific novel. Instead, it's one specific volume. Instead, it just shows the chapters directly. Maybe we can add a bit there so it jumps that over. But yeah, for now, I guess it's best if you since it's pretty much the same medium, just go in. And I'm not quite sure what name you should use. I guess you should use... I would think that the best name would be novel. Honestly. But hey. And I don't think that you want to go down to the page. It's just going like novel, then novel chapter, and then no, you go novel, then you go novel volume, and then you say, and then you go volume chapter, and that's it, I guess. And for each we need info tables, obviously. And so on and so forth. You know the deal, right? You know the deal. So guys, we're gonna end the stream now. Drachox, I will send you the draw.io file. So you can add your add this stuff. And then we're gonna have to discuss and then we have to discuss further. Well, we will see what comes out of it, but I wrote it down for now, so I shouldn't forget. Yep. So I'm gonna send you the file, and then we can discuss that later on, and yeah. So guys, then I would say, who are we gonna raid? Because that's the usual question. And we're gonna raid Lollipopchi. Let's go over there. It's actually no, it's we should not because we just have one viewer. It's a bit. Well, okay, guys. So then I would say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed the stream. It didn't work out as planned. We planned to do some FicsIt-Networks, and then in the end we did some software architecture thing. But it was fun. You know, it was fun, and that is important. So then I would say thank you much for watching. I was Plan Codon from Codid from his Spice, and say bye bye until next time. And as always, keep coding!